Welcome in. Belly up, have a seat, grab a drink as we talk some Wingman fantasy football. Welcome on into another edition of Wingman Fantasy Football, the league podcast. I'm your host, Michael Furley, and as always, I'd like to thank all of you, or any of you who may be watching or listening to today's show. This is episode 155, a week one Sunday morning quickie. In this show, we'll see who's in and who's out for week one. We'll also review our show's starts of the week, let you in on the players to watch in our Wingman Jam contest, and we'll let you know the very best way to get the most updated news to help you set your fantasy football lineups. But before we get into any of that, let's make sure that everybody is in the room. Wingman Assemble! All right, now that everyone is here, let's see who's in and who's out, who's hurt and who's not in this week's Actives Inactives. We're going to start with the guys who are definitely missing this week's game due to them being on the IR, PUP, or NFI list. Starting off with Jalen McMillan, Tampa Bay wide receiver, is on the IR. Going to miss a minimum of 4 weeks with a neck injury, but it is expected that he'll miss around 8 or 9 weeks with that injury. Next on the list, who's going to miss today due to being out for a couple weeks here or longer, Joe Mixon, Houston running back, is officially on the NFI list, meaning he too will miss a minimum of 4 weeks, but there is a big cloud over when he may return. There are some rumblings that he may not come back at all this year. Nonetheless, we have a couple weeks to let that sort out, as he's definitely going to miss the next 4 weeks with an ankle injury. Moving on to Green Bay, Christian Watson, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. It starts the season on the PUP list, and he too will be out a minimum of 4 weeks. Brandon Ayuk. Hadouken! Brandon Ayuk is also starting the season on the PUP list, going to miss a minimum of 4 weeks. Tajay Spears was placed on the IR right before the season began with a high ankle sprain, meaning he's going to miss at least 4 weeks, so keep that in mind. And a late scratch going into this weekend, Tyler Bass, kicker for Buffalo, has also been placed on the IR with a hip/groin injury, and he too is going to be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. Keep in mind that the Buffalo Bills have promoted Matt Prater from their practice squad, and Prater will be kicking for Buffalo for the next 3 to 4 weeks. All right, also we have Jordan Addison, Minnesota wide receiver, is going to miss 3 weeks as he is dealing with a suspension. All right, now moving along, these guys are still out, but these are shorter-term injuries, hopefully anyway. We have Kinshon Judkins did sign his contract with the Cleveland Browns. He is on the commissioner's exempt list, just meaning that he can practice without taking up a roster spot, although for the game, he is officially listed as out before he goes back to that exempted list when practice resumes next week. Jalen Wright, Miami running back, is out this week, and the Dolphins have promoted Jeff Wilson from their practice squad to be the third running back going for the Dolphins in week one. Keep an eye on Ollie Gordon and see what kind of work he might get as well. Christian Kirk, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, has already been ruled out, and he is going to miss week one. Keep an eye out. Let's keep a scouting report here on rookie Jaden Higgins, who will step into a larger role for the Houston Texans. And Chris Godwin, who avoided the PUP list, is on the 53-man roster. However, he will not be ready to play for the next 3 or 4 weeks or so. So he's going to get the out designation on a week-to-week basis. So Chris Godwin is out for week number 1. All right, now for some guys who are a little more iffy, not out, not in quite yet. We have Darnell Mooney, Atlanta wide receiver, is listed as a game time decision. They play at 1 o'clock. I think it's 50-50. I don't think he's going to play, but there is a chance, and I will let you know the best way to make sure that you know his status before game time at the end of this show. Jaden Reed, Green Bay wide receivers, is still listed as questionable, but he is expected to play, and he's going to need to play as Dontavian Wicks is already out, and we mentioned Christian Watson is on the PUP list. Actually, I'm not sure if Dontavian Wicks is out, now that I say that out loud, but they're missing some wide receivers, so I expect Jaden Reed to play, to be dressed and active, although I don't expect him to get a high snap count. Now, this is the big one, guys. Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco running back, is actually expected to play, even though he missed practice late in the week with a calf injury. He's expected to play, barring any setbacks. Oh, we heard this last year going into week 1. But keep in mind, they play at 4:05 p.m. Eastern time, so they do not have to designate for certain whether he will or won't play. So definitely check the news coming out of that 2:30 time frame when the inactives are announced for that 4:05 game. Now for players that were listed questionable during the week or missed some practice time, but they are in fact going to play today. Starting with rookie wide receiver Isaac Tesla from Detroit is going to make his rookie debut this week for the Lions. Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane, a pair of Dolphins who are limited this week, will play, but keep an eye on their production and snap count. I think Tyreek Hill is definitely good to go. Devon Achane, I'm a little more worried about. I think Ollie Gordon's going to spell him more than you would think otherwise. Matthew Stafford missed a lot of practice during the preseason here, but he is off the injury report and he is going to play. This one I wasn't sure if I wanted to put in or not, but Isaac Guerendo, who's been a little questionable with a shoulder injury, a lot on and off during the preseason, is listed as ready to go. If you find out that Christian McCaffrey is not going to play today, we know Brian Robinson is the primary backup as he's been brought on and moved ahead of Guerendo, but we know how these running backs in San Francisco go. The next guy up is also the next guy to be out. Keep an eye on Christian McCaffrey, and if he's out, make sure you pick up Isaac Guerendo for the next insurance policy. Malik, won't you be my neighbors?
Won't you be my neighbor?
Is dealing with multiple minor injuries, but he is good to go. Juwan Jennings, San Francisco wide receiver, just signed a restructured deal, and he gets his money if he plays, and he is going to play today. Calvin Ridley's been dealing with general soreness. There was never really a doubt that he was going to play, but he is officially going to play today. And this one catches my attention. Travis Hunter, Jacksonville rookie wide receiver, was dealing with some soreness and some upper body injuries, but he will play. And the latest report is he will be a full-time wide receiver and play part-time on the defensive side of the ball. All right, guys, now it's time to take a look at our starts of the week. Bring it in. Take a knee. Who wants in?
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
All right, son, don't let me down. You're in.
Wingman Fantasy Football starts of the week.
All right, we're going to take a look at my normal co-host here, Bernie, his starts of the week. Let's take a look at who he's got going on. At the quarterback position, he has Kyler Murray as his start of the week. And his start of the week at the running back position is Bengals running back Chase Brown. And his wide receiver start of the week is Jerry the Judge Jeudy for the Cleveland Browns in that same game against the Cincinnati Bengals. He sees high scoring output as both these teams have weak defenses and potent passing offenses in the Cleveland-Cincinnati game today. All right, let's take a look at my starts of the week. We're going to bring this list in for you right here. We are going with Caleb Williams on Monday night versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings gave up the most points to the wide receiver position, and I don't see a lot of end arounds coming for the wide receivers for Chicago, so Caleb Williams is going to help contribute to those wide receiver points. My running back start of the week, this one's a little sketchy here. I'm going with Tank Bigsby. They're playing the Carolina Panthers, who gave up the most points to the running back position in 2024, and they gave the most points in the history of fantasy football. So even if they improve, they are going to be a plus matchup, and I think Tank Bigsby has a sneaky shot to be the leading ball carrier for the Jacksonville Jaguars on week 1. My wide receiver start of the week is Mike Evans versus the Atlanta Falcons, who gave up the third most points to the wide receiver position a year ago. And they also gave up the most receiving touchdowns of any team out there. So Mike Evans should eat with the injuries to his teammates in Chris Godwin and Jalen McMillan. So those are my starts of the week. All right, guys, now it is time to get in a little game that we like to call the Wingman Jam. I'm going to explain the rules to this because this one is out there for you guys to participate in. This is what you do if you want to play. You just pick an NFL team. You pick your favorite 2 players from that NFL team, and you build your Wingman Jam team right there. The only rules are you can't pick a team that's already been picked by another player or user. and they're in the description here, and I'm going to let you know who's already been picked. And if you do play, you can only pick a team once per season, kind of like a suicide pool here. So, so keep that in mind. Whoever you pick this week, you can't pick going in the future, and you can't pick anybody who has already been picked. If you want to pick your team, just leave a note in the comments. We'll see the timestamps there. So with that being said, also the way you play here, if you participate, you get a point. If you're first place for the week, you get an additional 3 points. If you're second place for the week, you get an additional 2 points. And if you're third place for the week, you get an additional 1 point. At the end of 3 weeks, the user participant who has the most points will earn themselves a seat in the Showcase Showdown, which takes place in week 7, where the winner of the showdown will win a prize. So get your picks in, get your participation points up, and good luck in your scoring here. Also, just to be clear here, the scoring is half-point PPR, 4 points per passing touchdown, no negative points for interceptions or fumbles. And I think that's about it. All right, let's take a look at who's been selected for this week's Wingman Jam.
Wingman Fantasy Football.
Wingman Jam with Bernie the Bounty Hunter and Amazing Spidey. Boom shakalaka. Arizona Cardinals, Cincinnati Bengals. I thought I taught Putty Cat. I did. All right, keeping up with the players who already signed up here. We got Andrew picking the Baltimore Ravens with Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson. Ken goes with Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. And Austin picks the Buffalo Bills for the Sunday night game with James Cook and Josh Allen. Congratulations. Thanks, guys, for joining us here in this game. Good luck to you. There's still time out there for any other of our users out there and audience members to play the game. Remember, just pick your NFL team and any 2 players on that team, and we'll keep track of the points, and we'll let you know on our Wednesday morning show the outcome of the Wingman Jam. Guys, I also want to let you in on the best way to get the updated news when it comes down to finding out who's inactive at the last minute here. Go to our webpage at wingmanfantasyfootball.com. When you get over there, I'm going to show you how this works real quick. When you get over there, guys, we got on the left side of the page is aggregated news. In the middle right here, you have links to major fantasy football sites, CBS, ESPN, NFL.com, Yahoo, Sleeper, and Underdog. On the right side here, you have Twitter feeds from prominent reporters, including Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport. Who else here? We got Pro Football Talk, and we've got Around the NFL. And in the very middle of the page, we have our NFL inactives, which update 90 minutes prior to kickoff. This thing is a great tool. I use it myself quite a bit. Just keep in mind that they are listed in alphabetical order, not chronological order. So just keep that in mind when you're sorting through the inactives. And if you go all the way to the very bottom of the page, there are weather tiles for all the NFL cities if you need a last-minute check on what kind of weather might be out there today. So thank you for doing that, guys. Thanks for checking out the website, wingmanfantasyfootball.com. All right. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this show on Week 1, Sunday Morning Quickie. If you want to see us later in the week, you can find us on many podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and the Odyssey app. Just search Wingman The League, and it'll pop right to the top of your search. Do me the favor here, guys. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave a comment and let us know how we can do better, and let us know what you like about the show. Also, if you want to see these beautiful faces, our graphics, and other things like that, go ahead to our YouTube page. And when you go there, do me the favor, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. And we'll get your comments into our mailbag segment at the end of the week. All right, guys, with that being said, may your glasses be full, your mugs stay frosty, and we will see you next time.